What is going on, Governor Chisgule here, and today we're going to talk about how you can get over 1,000 gems a day, farming them right off the map from these right over here. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today we're talking about gem farming. That's right, farming gems from the map. Should you do it, and how are people doing this right now to get thousands of gems a day? If you like Rise of Kingdoms videos where we help you get value and get gems, you should like and subscribe. This is not the first time we've put out a video to help you get gems, and this will certainly not be the last. So subscribe to get those notifications, and let's get into it. This right over here is a level 1 gem deposit. It contains 10 gems. A level 2 gem deposit will have 20 gems. Now, when you farm gems from these deposits, it's just like farming anything else you find on the map. It's got a little graphic for what it looks like. It does look different than the other nodes that you see on the map, and importantly, this is not a node that you can actually search for using the tools that they have in game. You gotta look with your gosh darn eyes, and it's a pain in the butt. But if you're not daunted by the fact that you will be having to look at your gatherers every 20 minutes or so to send them somewhere else, then this might be the thing that you're looking for to gain literally thousands of gems. Someone in my kingdom who spends a lot of time doing this has gained over 2,500 gems in a single day. So there's a couple things we need to talk about. First, the commanders that you use. We can review the talents. We'll talk about the required research and whether or not I think this is a good idea, given that you'll be using your commanders to gather gems instead of resources. So this guide is probably more oriented toward the free-to-play players, but I have seen spenders go this route as well. So first and foremost, let's talk about the commanders. You're obviously going to want to use gathering commanders for this endeavor, and when you go about doing that, there's a few talents that are very important. First and foremost, the more the better is a good one. When you complete a node, depending on the size of that node, you're going to get more gems, which is pretty solid. The other thing that we'll talk about with commanders very briefly is that Constantine is going to hook you up with an additional resource bonus as well, which means, yes, more gems. That said, when you send your siege units out to go gather gems on the map, after you've painstakingly hunted for that node, wherever you can find one on the map, and you'll see, by the way, there happens to be one real close to my city. Let's go snag that real quick. Boom. Now, we just committed an error in gem farming insanity. What was the error that we just committed? Couple things. First and foremost, if you're doing this activity and you're going to try to farm thousands of gems a day, my recommendation to you is to use Tier 1 Siege so that you march faster. The second mistake that we made is that we didn't send more units than it needs. You say, wait, send more units than it needs? That's right. I want you to send a bunch of siege units well beyond what this gem node requires so that you don't have to go back to town every single time you complete a gem node. I want you to go from gem node to gem node to gem node to gem node, getting tons of gems, and then make your way back home. That way you're saving time on walking. You're not making a trip back home every single time. Now, you can see here it's a little under a minute a gem. We are on Alliance territory. That means in 10 minutes, I'm going to need to go somewhere else, aka I need to set a timer to get to where I'm going. Okay, so if you want to farm lots of gems, and this is very tedious compared to farming large resource nodes like this one over here, I might have to check in every hour, hour and a half to deal with a level 5 cropland and resending out my gatherers. But for these gem nodes, you're going to have to be extremely vigilant, in part because you have to find them, in part because you're going to want to go from node to node rather than back home every single time, and it's going to be like every 10 to 20 minutes depending on the size of the node. Now, in your regular kingdom, you're going to find level 1 and level 2 nodes. However, in KVK, you might be able to find higher tier nodes that have even more gems, 30 gems, 40 gems, which is going to make this activity somewhat easier. The challenge with farming gems is that a lot of people have kind of figured out that this is an interesting thing to do. Now, you may be wondering, hey, wait a minute, Chisgule, what the heck? If they're all farming gems, how do they have resources? And that's a great question to ask. The way that those players farm resources is on separate accounts. They have farm accounts that are out gathering resources. They transfer them to the main. You cannot transfer gems. And by the way, I'm really low on gems. I don't know the last time I've been this low on gems. You can't actually transfer gems, so you're going to have to farm them on your main if that's what you're going to do, and farm your resources on alt accounts and transfer them over. So with all of that guidance, there is a precursor to even being able to farm these, and that is in your academy. There is research that you're going to need to do. That research is available pretty early on in the form of jewelry. It allows you to gather gems on the map. And after you've unlocked that, at the very top of the gathering tree, you can increase your gathering speed for gems by 35%, which is pretty decent if this is a thing you're into. I would say that I spent more resources on this than I got back in gems, quite frankly, because I just don't do this activity, which brings me to my next point, which is that, is this a thing that you should go and do? I'll say that if you have the time and attention to pay, actually watching your gatherers, actually sending them node to node, if you have the patience to find those gem nodes, which by the way, like as I look around the map, I happen to have found one next to my city, but I spent literally 5 minutes looking around to find one just for this video, and then one spawned next to my city. Ooh, there's one, right? And somebody else is already farming it, and I'm not surprised. People do like to farm these gem nodes. If you are free to play, I think this is a solid way to get some extra gems. There's other obvious ways to get gems that you're probably already doing, like spending down your action points, doing things like battling barbarians because they have gem tokens, playing events that award you gems, doing your daily quests, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to assume you're doing. I also am going to assume that you're not frivolously spending your gems or spending them unnecessarily in a place like the Mysterious Merchant if what you want to do is save up for an event like a Wheel of Fortune, because you can accumulate a bunch of gems over time if you're not spending them in places like the Merchant. So hopefully this video is helpful to you on gem farming. I personally do not find this an activity that I feel rewarded by, but there are players that really enjoy it because they have the time and attention to pay. Some folks have the kind of job where, like, look, they can check in and it's not a big deal to just look at and resend your gatherer, to set a timer when you need to do that. Your phone vibrates and you just find the next node. And if that's the case, then my goodness, are you going to get a lot of value. I learned these techniques from my Alliance member Maximus, who is maybe nearby, maybe not. I thought he was close. But he's farming like, he said 2,500 gems a day in a good day, which, whew, that is a lot of gems, right? And at a gem a minute, you can see how this could go really quickly. A gem a minute is really fast. The challenge is walking from node to node, which is why I'm recommending the tier 1 siege units, and is also why you could use a commander like Gaius Marius if you're only going to use one march to do this with instead of all 5, where you're getting a 15% march speed to siege unit bonus. If you're really going ham, you could invest more talent points into these commanders. This talent point over here is an error, kind of a bummer, but if I was going for march speed, you could get some additional march speed off to the side over here. And like, look, I know it's like a little bit here and there, but if you're going all in on this, I don't know, you could level up these gathering commanders running around the map, battling your Temple Guardians, which is a pretty straightforward thing to go and do. And then you've got high-level gathering commanders with a lot of march speed. You run around, gather a bunch of gems. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. We're going to finish up this gem node and probably not make our way into one for months because it's just not a thing that we do. We'll let the folks that really care about that go and do that. But I'd be curious to hear if this is a technique that you have used. Are you farming gems this way? Do you find it valuable? Leave a comment down below. And until next time, you have fun farming up them gems. No, I can't do it. It's like I gotta keep a straight face here. You have fun smashing the kingdom. It can't end on farming gems. You just feel funny to do. We have farmed. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, all right? Resource gathering. Where are we at? Boom. Boom, baby. It's a lot of RSS.